Hey guys, welcome to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson, and we are going to start a new series talking about the different forms flexible dieting can take. And Adam, this is a little bit easy for me because I'm the guy who brought this to our industry 20-some years ago. But let me tell you how that occurred first. And then we're going to spend other episodes in this series talking about how you can even be more flexible in your application of flexible dieting. But I think I've been interviewed enough that these stories are out there. Most people will have heard that I had an original personal trainer, a judge in a show. The very first drug-free show I did when I was, I think, around 21, 22 years old, a judge took me aside and said, hey, I can help you with your nutrition. If you just do this, you will improve. And I didn't know anything at the time. I was 20, 21 years old. And I had just won the overall novice in that show. And he said, you've got some potential, but you're going to need some help. And so he gave me just kind of a rigid plan, eat chicken breast and green beans. And it was very much just it was actually literally a copy of Chris Aceto's articles from Flex magazine. And so I had these exchange lists, and I could only have these foods, 3 or 4 different protein sources, 4 or 5 carb sources. The rest, here are your approved fiber sources. And that was it. And so, I was going to school, the IU med school in Indianapolis at the time. And I went back there and I'm busy, I'm training, I'm in school, I'm working all kinds of jobs just to stay afloat. And I needed some kind of flexibility. I could not do what he was asking. So I started asking him questions. Can't I have this? No, you can't have that. That's not on the list. Well, why can't I have that? And so as the story goes, I just started doing my own thing. I would see the foods he liked, what he wanted, and I broke the macronutrients down. This is before nutrition fact panels were even the law. And I just made up my own flexible dieting regimen. I would eat anything I wanted as long as the macros fit that. So years later, that was the early 90s. So by the late 90s, I was already seeing clients. I was writing for Natural Bodybuilding Fitness. I already had articles, I think, in Muscle and Fitness and Muscle Media 2000 at the time. And people were really intrigued by this concept of flexibility, like why you can really eat and not be on a plan. But I'll tell you, Adam, it was always still about somewhat healthy food. It was about being able to simply eat different foods. If I didn't want that chicken breast, what about turkey? What about fish? What if I needed some red meat or something? And so we're going to spend a lot of time the rest of this series talking about different forms of flexible dieting, but just from its original intent, how do you think it has held up in the last 25 years?
Yeah, very, very well. And we've actually seen that people who maybe couldn't have competed with such a rigid approach before, they're actually able to compete. So I actually have clients with poultry allergies. And what a lot of people don't understand is you can eat turkey and be allergic to chicken or vice versa because it's more species allergy versus just bird allergy. So it's really that specific. So if someone puts chicken on your meal plan, and I only have about 2 clients this way, people would look at those old meal plans and say, I can't do this. So it really has opened the doors to allow more flexibility. So people with allergies or different kind of food medical restrictions allows them to be able to compete, which is awesome.
Yeah, and even just think of those people who it's just, tilapia and asparagus or something like that. If that's, that to them was just going on plan. That's now pre-contest diet. I just have to go get, 50 billion pounds of tilapia and stock up my freezer, and this is all I'm going to eat for the next 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think it's just been great for the mentality of the sport as well.
It's almost hard to or think back to a time when this didn't exist, where people, of course, I can make the decisions. I just, somebody just sent me some cookies in the mail during the COVID pandemic, and I'm going to say, okay, wow, this is what I planned on my pre-workout snack today, but now I'm going to have that instead. And to be able to look up those food values is really immeasurably helpful. So guys, we're gonna dive in a little bit deeper in the next episode, talking about how far you can take these boundaries and still make it work for you, because there still has to be some principled guidelines to this. So stay with us, and we'll see you in episode 2.